So, we've got the A side there in Dmitry Bivol, and he's ready to fight all comers.
It must be a lot of pressure on you because you know that Canelo Alvarez wants the Bivol rematch. He told us there's only 2 fights on his agenda: Triple G, Bivol, no matter what. So you have to maneuver. Think about that, and later on, plan ahead. But then you still have to make other fights for Bivol.
For sure.
There's a chance that he might lose.
I mean, the fact is that to fight Canelo Alvarez, Bivol might have to get through Buatsi and Zerdo to get the Canelo fight, or just one, or two, I don't know, or Zerdo then Buatsi. So that fight's not a definite because he can't just wait till May. It's impossible. So there's always risk in those fights, but hopefully Canelo Alvarez and Triple G have a tremendous fight in September, and then if Canelo wins, he'll go forward and look for that rematch, but Bivol's going to be fighting too. And also, don't forget, Bivol wants the Beterbiev fight.
Exactly.
I would imagine that. I would imagine that if Zerdo was to beat Bivol, that Canelo would still want that rematch with Bivol anyway.
Yeah, it's not really. It's pride. It's pride. It's it's setting the record straight. So, but listen, then a Zerdo fight would be a big fight, as well for Canelo perhaps. But it's really not. It's not necessarily just about the titles for Canelo now. It's about revenging that defeat.
Yeah, I say go back and...
Anyway, so you heard there, people. In fact, let me replay the bit that actually is relevant because you may have missed it. Essentially, Eddie Hearn, he let slip the Bivol versus Canelo fight might not even happen. And you can listen to all the waffling he'd be doing. Oh, Zerdo and Planet Zerk. Wasn't that from Buzz Lightyear? Bivol got to fight some don from Buzz Lightyear called Zerko. I mean, zesty sounding ass, yeah? Waffling have an ass, dude. Oh, you got to fight Zerdo and Buzz Lightyear and this guy and that guy. No, yeah? Let's not forget, people. Triple G spot was never supposed to be in the cut after Bivol popped your cherry. Yeah? I'm sick of this whole narrative. Eddie Hearn came out after May 10th when Canelo had his prime peak virginity popped by Bivol and said, Triple G is over. In fact, even Bivol said, Bivol, Mr. Dopey Ass, I ain't gonna lie, Bivol's got himself to blame, but still, even Bivol Dopey Ass came out after the fight and said, Eddie Hearn, I mess up your fight. You didn't mess up shit. Oops. Yeah, Canelo doing what he doing because you had a closed mouth, you clown. Dopey have an ass team. And now look at you, going in there with Borat. How do you go from a double undisputed opportunity, rematching Canelo at 168, taking all of his 4 belts, and then potentially going straight up and fighting Beterbiev? How do you go from that prospect to fighting Zergo and Bomatsi? Oh my. What kind of... Where are they doing that at? We need to know. There needs to be an inquest into this. Yeah? Sick of hearing the narrative. Drop the narrative, Eddie. And Canelo. And Bomelo. And Capello. Yeah, I ain't trying to hear no more from Capello. Yeah? Oh, I really want to fight. I want a rematch. I want revenge. You want revenge, but you're fighting old Lovkin. Okay, then. That makes sense. Oh, and Eddie Hearn, again, wheeled himself out. Oh, I know, Canelo. If I know Capello, I'll know he'll want the Bivol rematch. A week later. Canelo versus Golovkin 3. Oh, the best fight in the world. Bigger than Spence and Crawford. Bigger than Spence and Crawford? You were supposed to be Mexican style and old school and GOAT and Hall of Fame. Old school Hall of Fame GOAT. They got their get back. Yeah? They got their get back. Immediately. Yeah? Fighting old Lovkin. Get serious. All of a sudden, Mr. Don't forget, people, as well, Canelo, when he was in there with Bivol, was all vulnerable. Backing up against the rope, cowering down, and then when he got in front of old Lovkin, barking off like he really hard again. Isn't that amazing? And that shows you these fighters are fragile. Yeah, and I don't even mind it. Back in the day, fighters had fragile egos, but they backed it up. They used that fragile ego to say, you know what, who do you think you are? And they, they took the smoke. Think about Roy Jones and, great, perfect example really is Roy Jones versus James Toney. Remember, James Toney got put down or something happened and James Toney wanted to match him, match for match. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's actually how James Toney got knocked down. Roy Jones did something. James Toney tried to copy it and then Roy Jones countered him. But yeah, the point is, that fueled that ego. They all had ego back in the day, yeah. But that spurred them on to great heights. Canelo has big ego, gets it popped, and he run off to fight the old dude who he already beat once. Yeah? Scary having us, dude. But anyway, before I carry on with the roast, you man most likely missed the bit where Eddie let slip that it ain't gonna happen. Here we go.
Think about that and later on, plan ahead, but then you still have to.
The fact is that to fight Canelo Alvarez, Bivol might have to get through Boazzi and Zerdo to get the Canelo fight, or just one or two, I don't know, or Zerdo then Boazzi. So that fight's not a definite because he can't just wait till May.
There you go then. You heard it again. Bivol might not get the Canelo fight now. It's not a definite because Bivol can't wait until May, and he might have to fight Zerdo, and he might have to fight this guy, and he might have to fight that guy from Planet Zorg. Yeah? Zorg. Yeah, YB. Bivol might not get the Canelo or Canelo might not get the Bivol rematch now because Bivol need to fight Zorg. Fucking hell. No, Eddie. And what gets me is, look at Eddie. He's like, acting as if it's all shocked and not planned. Oh, well, we can't wait till May. Eddie, he never had to wait till May. You're the ones who made it so he'd have to wait till May. The rematch is supposed to be in September. That's what I can't stand the lies, man. And then again, you can argue, well, why be there in the promotional game? They're there to make money and scam the masses, scam all the sheeple who ain't got no IQ. So I understand it, but still, drop the Capello. Yeah, I ain't trying to hear no more from. I don't want to hear no one talk to me about greatness when it comes to Capello. Yeah, especially if this rematch don't happen. To be fair, if the rematch magically ends up happening, but it ain't happening. If Canelo had any intention of taking a rematch, it would have been immediate. I've already explained the reasons why. Let me remind you. Canelo's moving up in weight. Yeah? Part of the problem, he alleges, was the weight. I wasn't used to the weight. So wait there. If you wasn't used to the weight in the first fight, why would you then go back down? Don't make no sense, does it? Your best bet is to go up in weight, lose to Bivol, and then stay there, isn't it? For the rematch. That means you've got two camps at the weight. Canelo now is essentially going to go up and he ain't doing that. He's going back down and he's staying there. I don't think that's bad advice. But what he needs to do is come out rather than playing these political games. Canelo really wants to fight, but it's not because of him. It's because he can't get it because of Zergo and Boazzi, and he can't wait till May. And that's not the reason, Eddie. The reason is you don't want it. Because even if, let's say for example, what's May got to do with anything? Okay, let's say for example, Canelo really wants it, but you're right that Bivol needs to fight Zorg and Boazzi. That's only a year. Yeah, Canelo can do what he's doing for a year, wait until Bivol's got his mandatories out of the way, and then fight him. Oops. What's it? And that shows you how they're not being straight up. Acting as if, if it doesn't happen in May, it can never happen. What's that? It could happen in May 2024, couldn't it? Why not? Oops. If you really want it, do you really want it? The question, that's the point here, people. It comes down to if you really want it or not. That's what it comes down to. If you really want it, you could do it in 2024. You could do it in 2025. Time isn't an issue. Mandatories aren't an issue. The issue is if you want it or not. And that's the same issue that was the case after the loss. Do you want it or not? Canelo said no. And he's wheeled out Eddie Hearn to do all of his shilling for him. And Bivol really's got no one to blame but himself. Bivol now has managed to play himself out of $20 million and an undisputed fight that he most likely would have won. Well done. Well done, Team Bivol. And instead, you're going to get hard fights against... not being funny, I believe the Boazzi fight is probably just as hard as the Canelo fight, isn't it? Weight for weight. You're going to end up with... So, what have you done? You've gone from a $20 million payday to $1 million payday overnight. All because your team doesn't have a clue what they're doing. Not to mention the fact we've now lost out. How many people want to see Bivol versus Boazzi? None, in my opinion. I don't want to see it. Comparatively. What do you want to see? Bivol versus Boazzi, yeah. Or Bivol versus Canelo at 168 for all the marbles. It's not even close, but guess what? Team Bivol, even to this day, where are they? I still ain't heard from them. Eddie's out here just setting all the narratives. And they just, honestly, I don't know what to say, people. I've never seen anything like it. Unless Team Bivol have been touched. It seems to me Eddie Hearn and Team Matchroom and Team Canelo and Team Cap-Elo have infiltrated Bivol's team. Because where have they been? And all these guys, yeah, they're taking 10%, 20%, making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. What value are they adding? They've played their client out of a huge fight, potentially. I'm just saying, yeah, imagine, and I've told you the other day, part of the reason Golovkin wasn't going to get the Canelo rematch, the second one. Initially, the immediate rematch wasn't booked. Canelo had got the win over Golovkin, and he was planning on moving on. It was only when Golovkin started putting out things in the media, oh, Canelo's scared, he know I won, he don't want the rematch. That's when it came around. It wasn't immediate. It wasn't until the narrative got going, Canelo's ducking, that's when Canelo took it. The playbook was there for Bivol. If you want the rematch, you know what to do. Bivol should have been out there multiple times a week, putting videos out and clowning him. And maybe he wouldn't have gone for it. Either way, it's a win-win for you. Either, number one, you get the rematch, or number two, you've got the clout and you've clowned one of the biggest names in the sport. All that clout comes to you. Yeah, and you've proven that you're properly Canelo's daddy. You punked him off in the social setting. Did we get any of that? Never mind that. We didn't even get anything. We don't even know what Bivol wants. And Eddie Hearn's going to put him in there with Buatsi. I mean, Bivol's doing what he's supposed to do as a champion, but there's certain things. The Buatsi fight ain't going nowhere, is it? It's 4 months. May to September. That's 4 months. In 4 months, Bivol could have gone back to fighting all the random bum fights he wants to fight. All he had to do was a month of pressure from May to June. Canelo would have thought, you know what, this is getting awkward now, I better fulfill it, and done the rematch in September. And then Bivol can do all the things he want to do, go back to fighting all the random bums. Bivol, yeah, honestly, look at Bivol's career. He loved to fight random ass dudes. He love it. Oh, Craig Richards, oh, Boazzi. He love it. Super weird. I can't explain it. YB Bivol, he's not very vocal. His management team? Do we hear? What have they been doing? Where is Bivol's management team's influence in the whole situation? The whole point of having a management team is to manage and direct your client's career to the best possible opportunity. Show me where you've seen Bivol's team at work. Oh, YB, look, they did this, they advised this. Where is it? They ain't done nothing. If anything, their absence has walked him out of a $20 million opportunity and unlimited clout. Imagine if Bivol had beat Canelo at 168 for 4 belts. That is exponential clout. You've beaten the best guy in his own weight division for the best guy of the last 20 years you beat in his own weight division. Who knows, maybe you could even go into that camp with a knee and put the guy down. All these kind of options were there. And you've gone from that to Buatsi. I don't know anymore. I don't know what to say anymore, man. And that's the thing about the game today. You've either got people like Ryan Garcia, who don't have the skill, who don't have the balls to really get stuck in. Then you've got people like Bivol, who are happy to do the work, but ain't got no mouthpiece. It's like, fucking, it's mad. Anyway, man, I'm tired. Look at this guy. I'm tired of seeing this guy, man, capping. Oh, it can't happen. You don't want the fight, man. You don't want it. I'm telling you now, Canelo has ducked Bivol. That's the bottom line. Eddie Hearn can sell the narrative he wants. Oh, well, we can't do it because of this. No, you could do it. Yeah, and you knew, that's the thing as well, people. They knew Bivol had, if anything, they knew Bivol had mandatories coming up. It's obvious, you're a belt holder, you're going to have mandatories coming up. Why didn't Eddie Hearn say, Canelo, you better not take the Golovkin fight was never going anywhere. Golovkin's desperate for that fight. Golovkin's already a million years old. What difference would it have made, Canelo fighting Golovkin in September or in May? None. Yeah, what's the difference between 43 and 43 and a half? No difference. Old as dust anyway. So, why not do the one that's immediately makes sense? Also, for the fans' point of view, the narrative, the momentum. immediate rematches make sense. That's how you carry the momentum. That's how the storyline continues. No one really wants to. It's much less effective, in my opinion, to go from massive world-breaking loss to random ass fights in between and then circle back. It's not a good play, commercially speaking, in my opinion. But who am I? But anyway, man, bottom line is Canelo don't want it. That's what it comes down to, and I do feel vindicated even more now. At the time, I told you Canelo's new name is Bumelo. And some people thought, oh, no, why be he's still the greatest? Listen to the guy. Listen to his team now. He ain't the greatest. Yeah, the greatest don't act like this. Fair enough, yeah. I'd consider Canelo a lot greater if he came out and said, listen, I got beat. The weight was too much, and I just don't fancy it there. Yeah, I don't want that work. He ain't say that. Oh, yeah, I want it. Yeah, I want it, but, it's just the logistics. Get out of here, man. King of Cap. Yeah, Capello, 100%.